Do you enjoy watching an ADC give up trying to fight you and instead desperately try to get a little bit of gold from some minions before they inevitably die for the 10th time in a game? Do you enjoy barely surviving as the enemy desperately tries to kill you, but instead you just stay barely out of his range and dance in front of his face? Barely? Do you enjoy making that annoying Teemo split pusher run for his freaking life as you come barreling down the top lane? Barreling? Okay. Alright, I'll stop with the unbearable puns for a bit. Man, I'm so sorry. Guys, truly, I'll chill out. But anyways, hello everyone. My name is Borax the Mighty. In my entire League career, I've been a Phil main, so aka a support player. Sometimes playing the same old supports can get tiring, so I want to find out how viable and how much fun it can be to play other champions in the support role. Today we'll be looking at Volibear, the relentless storm, and we'll rate how good he is as a support.
Feel the power of the wild.
Volibear is pretty strong in Invading because you're one of the few champs in the league that has a point-and-click CC ability, and it comes with a movement speed buff as well. A downside Volibear has when Invading is the fact that you have to run in full frontal into the enemy team. Unless you really don't mind inting and getting banned for it, I would recommend that you have your team with you, and it would be even better if you outnumber your opponent in order to make sure Volibear invades work. I give him an A rating, as he won't be the best, but he's still quite strong regardless. I like to judge the overall laning phase based on 3 categories: poking, peeling, and all-inning. Volibear only has one quote-unquote range ability when it comes to his E, so his ability to poke isn't really a factor and is not an element of his support prowess. However, for peeling, I'd argue he is fairly decent, as his base damages feel solid, and he has a very reliable CC ability with his Q stun that can help your ADC to escape certain sticky situations. Peeling and poking aren't his fortes, but when it comes to all-inning the enemy for kills, Volibear is ready to shine. His abilities synergize quite nicely for bot lane scraps. If you throw out your E forward where you anticipate the enemy will be as you chase him with your Q, you will not only get a nice amount of damage on your opponent, but you also get a 15% max health shield, which is quite strong and will be essential in your ability to win fights. His Q stun is also quite reliable, and even if the enemy CCs you out of it, you can insta-cast it again, giving you regained movement speed and the ability to stun once again. Another trick you can use in order to engage a Volibear is to ult towards the enemy, as this works as a very solid gap closer. Once you've done this, you can land your full stun and E combo, which will be an amazing combination of damage and CC that you're looking for in order to win fights. There are a couple more things I want to bring up that I think are special for Volibear's support. The first being how strong I believe he is with Hex Flash. Opponents will be greatly caught off guard when a big crazy bear flashes out of a bush and runs on all fours towards them like a rabid dog. The amount of times I have chuckled while watching my opponents flee made playing Volibear's support worth it already. Also, if you ask my friends, they'll tell you I have a strong soft spot for Hex Flash, so you'll definitely be seeing it a lot on this channel. Now, the main reason why I first thought of new Volibear as being a fairly decent support is his new ability to be the item Ohm Wrecker, where you get to disable turrets. The fact that you can more easily tower dive opponents in the early game and eliminate one of the most essential safety nets for laners at this time is such a strong ability, it makes Volibear support a major threat to consider. For the overall laning phase, I will give Volibear a S- rating. I think he provides good utility in the lane, but not as much as the best supports, but still enough where he can really be a strong contender and therefore is deserving of this rating. My secondary main role is jungle, so I know that having a support that can roam successfully is so useful in helping your jungler have more of an impact on the game overall, which will allow you to win more matches. As long as you're looking at your minimap, Volibear has the kit to rush to a jungle scrap quickly to turn the tide of battle. The advantage of playing junglers as supports is that they're usually really good at roaming. Almost like the class is designed to be good at ganking? Who knows? Volibear's roaming is already quite strong, but I like to improve it with a couple of tactics. To start with, the item I like to purchase first is Righteous Glory. Volibear's kit is designed around trying to get into the face of the enemies to allow him to start stunning and whacking the enemy. The extra movement speed and slow you get from it feels quite satisfying to use, and honestly is quite fun. Another good tactic that I like to use, and one that I've mentioned before, is Hex Flash. The ability to get over walls when you aren't envisioned to get the surprise in the opponent is quite a strong positive of this champ. For all these reasons, I give Volibear a S+ rating for roaming, which should not be too surprising considering that he is also a jungler. When it comes to Volibear and his overall ability to support, I like to take a look at the matchups he might face in the bot lane. Playing against Morgana is a League of Legends equivalent of stepping on Legos barefoot, and she will always be the #1 champ that makes me cry. Other matchups that I think can be quite difficult for Volibear are the high damage AP supports, such as Brand, Vel'Koz, and Zyra, that have CC and annoying poke/damage that can be unbearable. If you face these peeps, a good gank can shut them down, so there is hope. Champs I think can be quite difficult to handle include Alistar, Thresh, and Lux. I think Alistar and Thresh are quite strong in general with their ability to peel and engage, and are always tough to face. Meanwhile, Lux falls into the same category of a high damage AP support like the ones that I've already mentioned, but I think she's not as strong as the other ones. There are a lot of champions you might have to face that will feel very much like skill-based matchups at the end of the day. In the case of Bard, Blitz, and Nautilus, they have one big ability you need to dodge, and if you do that consistently, the lane should not be too difficult. Then there are all of these peeled champions that can be quite annoying to deal with. Volibear doesn't have any dashes, except for the beautiful Hex Flash of course, but as you can see, every single champion in this category has some annoying type of slow which can give Volibear quite a lot of trouble. Well, except for Blitz, but the point pretty much makes sense, so I'm staying with it. Okay, next category are all champs with hard CC that you have to deal with. That's where Volibear actually shines, because when your Q gets cancelled with CC, you can immediately recast the ability, and you get the movement speed and the ability to bop people right back. So champs of Leona, Pyke, Senna, Rakan, and Taric can be quite easily matched up against, in my opinion. Then there are champs that are easy to face up against when you're playing as Volibear, and they will learn what a true power bottom is. These champs are Yuumi and Sona because they are super squishy and can't do much to prevent you from diving them on ulti cooldown over and over again. If the opponent plays these champions, it will feel a bit like fighting against 2 bags of gold just waiting to be collected. Finally, the last 2 champs I want to mention are Zilean and Karma, that belong in the "who plays Karma and Zilean though" category. And if you bring up the fact that people are playing Karma on the pro scene, I don't want to hear it. I haven't seen one as a support in my games in a really long time. Based on all the matchups and all the things we considered, I'd give Volibear an A+ rating for his ability to support in the overall early game. And now let's transition and take a look at his late game prowess.
Gods do not beg. We take what is ours.
When it comes to late game, I like to consider the champion's abilities to engage, peel, and their overall impactfulness on a team fight when they're being utilized as a support. Volibear is pretty good at engaging, but the same problems that he had when it came to invading pops up here once again. You have to put your fur into the thick of the fight just to engage on one single target, and sadly, because you are playing a support who will usually be a little down in gold compared to normal Volibears, there's a risk of you getting popped if the enemy uses all of its firepower on you. However, at the same time, when you are picking Volibear as a support, it is supposed to be a cheese pick that you can utilize to get ahead in lane and snowball the rest of the game with. You want to build up a decently sized lead in the laning phase so you can pick up a couple of items such as Righteous Glory so you can have an influence on the rest of the map and force the game into an accelerated pace before you get outscaled. Oh, also I'm not sure if I've already mentioned this before, but if you do take Hex Flash, you'll be able to catch your opponent once again when you are hiding out of vision, which is very, very handy for mid lane scraps as we gamers in A enjoy our little random A-Ram gameplay, or when you are contesting those dragons and are trying to either secure or prevent that dragon soul from happening. For engaging, I'd give Volibear an A- rating. If an enemy target is ever out of position by themselves, you can bull rush, or should I say bear rush, that target and most likely lock them up long enough for your team to pick them off. The reason I don't rate him as a higher option is the fact that you have to place yourself in quite a lot of danger and that you can only engage on that one person and not on multiple targets like other supports out there can do. I won't give him a lower rating because his ulti is a good escape tool to use if the engage doesn't end up working out, as you can get out of a sticky situation and it provides a good amount of free health stats to delay what would have been a probable death. Volibear is pretty decent when it comes to peeling, purely based on the fact that he has a point and click CC ability. If the enemy assassin dives onto a high priority target, as long as you aren't AFK, you should be able to stun them if you're nearby and the rest of your team can blow them up. I'd give Volibear an A- rating for this category as well. He doesn't have any form of shielding or healing, which makes the best peelers really shine, but one should never underestimate just how effective point and click CC abilities are. Especially because Volibear dishes out decent damage on his own, and if it's a tank that is engaging on your team that you need to try and help kill off, Volibear can help smack that tank down. For overall teamfighting, I give Volibear Support a B rating. The main problem he has is that he is a bit of a one-trick pony with this Q stun. Either you can use it to engage, or you can use it to peel, and the rest of your kit plays a decent but not major impactful role in the fight. Your E ability with its shield is a nice complement in a team fight as it does deal decent damage. Once again, that shield you get from it can come in rather clutch of the fight, and it makes Volibear a lot more tanky than he seems. The exact same thing applies to his ultimate ability. Volibear just has plenty of natural tankiness, which makes his teamfighting feel slightly above average as a support, but not ridiculous compared to some other champions that are out there. Before we give Volibear Support an overall grade, let's take a look at the runes and items I enjoy running. For runes, I like to take Aftershock, as you can easily proc it with your Q stun, and it is quite essential in helping Volibear survive in those scrappy 2v2s early, and when you are in the middle of a large team fight. I believe that you could also get away with running Press the Attack if you wanted to go for something more cheesy early game, and I could even see the Phase Rush or Predator working on him as fun little alternatives. That's something that I truly enjoy about playing Volibear Support, as there are so many fun possibilities that you can try out. However, going Hex Flash is strongly recommended by me in your secondary tree, as it is so useful and I think you will enjoy it greatly. That way you can also pick up Biscuits, which can help prevent you from getting poked out in lane. When it comes to items, I feel like there are even more possibilities, starting from the very first support item. I believe that both Relic Shield and Steel Shoulder Guards aren't bad options, but I like Relic Shield more, as that bit of scaling from AP felt nice in the early to mid game. When it comes to what items you build later on, I believe they can build like any traditional support, going things like Knight's Vow, Locket, Gargoyle Stoneplate, and maybe even Zeke's. However, I truly enjoy going a bit more aggressive with my build, if I was getting ahead by going Righteous Glory, maybe even a Bambi Cinder, because it does a surprising amount of damage and just feels like a solid item component. It's pretty good when you upgrade it to Sunfire Cape. And finally something like Dead Man's Plate to really turn Volibear into a chase down machine. For boots, I would like to look at what the enemy comp is running. For instance, if they have a lot of AD, I'd go something like Ninja Tabby. If they have a ton of CC that might hit you, pick up some Mercs. Constant slows from like an Ashe. Swifty boots are always nice. But my personal favorite boots to go were Moby boots, as like with the other items I like to build, it's fun just to be streaking down lanes towards your foes and shutting them down. For Volibear's overall rating as a support champion, I'd give him a S-. It was a ton of fun to play, and I really did enjoy giving him a try, and I highly recommend you try him out as well. If you do play him, feel free to let me know how it goes in the comments, or to drop by and show off in the Discord. Link will be in the description. I want to say thank you so much for watching, and to all the people who have left nice comments on my past videos, I really appreciate it. I also like recommendations to make these videos better, as I'm still improving overall, and I want to make the best videos that I possibly can. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to subscribe, as I'll be making more of these videos, and the next support I'll be trying out is Vel'Koz, as someone asked for it, and I encourage you guys to suggest any champion you'd like to see me make the next support video on as well. Thank you once again for watching, and good luck, have fun if you're trying out Volibear Support. You will probably need it.